Worship 94.5, the Tennessee Valley's new inspiration station. And on the phone with me, I have one of my favorite people in the entire world. He is my friend, and he is a musical beast, Vashawn Mitchell. What is going on, B-Man?
Uh-oh.
They still
What's
call
up,
you that?
friend?
They still call you that?
Yeah, they call me B-Man a little bit. You know, I can't shake it, so I just learned to live with it.
I got you. All right, so you had a project that dropped before the end of the year. And some people think that it's just a Christmas album, but it's really more than that. So can you go into detail exactly what it is and what you're trying to, express through this new album that you just dropped?
Absolutely. You know, we did a project. It was entitled Home for Christmas, but it's really about Jesus for life. And all the songs that we sing is just about lifting up Jesus, inspiring and encouraging the world to understand that, we may be in a pandemic. We've seen some very weird times this last year, election that went crazy and everything else, but it all pointed us back to the source, and that is Jesus Christ. And I want to do music that will just remind us that Jesus is still to be lifted up, he's still on the throne, and he's still the reason that we are and the reason for every season.
Now, Vashawn, you will drop an album and then you will take your time to kind of just be, and maybe 1 year, and maybe 2 years, and maybe 3 years. But whenever you do, you produce. But what I've noticed is that you are very intentional about not rushing your work.
As a creative, I know the world is changing and people want more music more frequently. So I am doing EPs now, but I still can't rush it because I don't believe that I can rush God in telling me what to say. So as he speaks, I record and I write and I produce. So I am working on a new project for next year. I'm celebrating, 25 years in the industry, and I'm turning 45 and all that kind of good stuff. But, I'm writing and pulling songs together as God is speaking to me for what he's saying in that season. So I never try to rush his word because it may become my word. And that's not what I want to do. I always ask him to give me songs that can live longer than I can. And he continues to do that as long as I'm obedient to hearing his voice.
Are you still writing for other artists?
I don't know. I guess I will. I have not just sat down and say, okay, I wrote this song for someone. But if someone reaches out to me and I have something, yeah, I will. My first love has always been songwriting.
As far as the gospel industry goes right now, where are you seeing it in the next 3 to 4 years?
You know what? I see it just remaining what it is, and that is the light in the music industry, because it's all music. And a lot of times we try to separate it, and God brought us back together. And especially right now, coming after a pandemic, coming after such, like I said before, such a terrible time, pretty much, within the last year or so for so many people. They need to be encouraged, inspired, and uplifted through this gospel sound. So I do know that the industry is definitely changing, but gospel is remaining the same, and that is that light in the music industry.
Now, during the pandemic, what have you been doing to keep yourself afloat, to keep yourself in good spirits? And in those moments where you just haven't felt the best, if you've had them, what have you done to be able to get yourself out of those moments?
You know what? I used my time in the pandemic because at first I didn't know it was going to be this long.
Right.
So, I'm so used to traveling. I'm so used to being out the country. I'm like, oh my God, I've been on land for over a year now.
Yeah.
But I used my time to kind of reset and to pick up some of those things that I was too busy for. So I did go back to school to finish my degree in music business. I got about 6 months left, so pray for the old man.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But just some of the other things that, some other areas that I've been working on outside of music. My cologne line is almost finished now, and just wanted to pick up some things that I thought I was too busy for. And God said, you know what, I'll put the whole world on pause so you can remember those things that you're supposed to be doing in the first place. And there has been some times I got down because I'm so used to being on the go and so used to crowds and traveling and people. But I had to remember that sometimes we got to come apart before we come apart. And this is just a time to reset and just to refocus so that once that day happens again, we won't mismanage the time.
Okay, so I did see something about a cologne line, and I want to talk a little bit about you being, Vashawn Mitchell, the gospel artist, but venturing off to have other streams of income, getting into, fashion and brand. I mean, you are one of the most fashionable guys in the industry. Let's not even take that away from you. But now you about to have these people out here smelling good. Where did that come from?
So I believe that my whole life is a brand, and no matter what we say, we are brands, from music to writing to producing to singing to other aspects of what we do. And I love clothes, I love fashion, but I was trying to find a niche that would meet the needs of our people. And some of us can't go and afford Joe Malone, or we can't afford, the New York cologne that's almost $300 a bottle.
That
so I wanted to, let me tell you.
That bond.
That bond. So I wanted to create a line that was not too expensive, but also that had options. Most of it is unisex, that had options. And because I'm a worshiper, I'm a praiser, they all have names like Judah, atmosphere, adoration, things that sort. But they all have specific notes in them that kind of reminds you of that experience. So I pray that it not only is a vision of mine, but I pray that it is accepted in the world beyond just the gospel community. It is a world experience, and it is a life experience for it to go and have this life, but have it that you don't have to spend your whole check just to smell good. You know what I'm saying? So, we're still in the infancy phases. I have two of the clones in already, and 3 more on the way. So they're coming from Australia. So we pray they get here before the summertime.
Okay.
Because we want to have a release sometime in the fall.
Awesome. So what does Vashawn Mitchell listen to on his downtime?
Everything. From Brandy to Jasmine Sullivan to Israel New Breed to I love music. Okay. So as long as it's like life music and it's not too much cussing and all that, I just love music. But sometimes I turn myself off and listen to like the EDM station on XM, just so I can clear my head from the regular sounds, especially when I'm writing music. So but I love music. I love singers, and you can find like quite a few artists on my playlist.
All right, Vashawn, so I'm not going to hold you much longer, but let everybody know how they can stay connected to you. Let's talk about this brand new single that you have that's out. Let's get into that so that people can really know what's good in 2021 musically with Vashawn Mitchell.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, it's Vashawn Mitchell, and this new single, Lifted Up, is a song of inspiration and encouragement that you want to listen to. They get your day started and they end your day on a high level. Stay in touch with me, Vashawn Mitchell, at VashawnMitchell.com, Vashawn Mitchell Instagram, Vashawn Mitchell Twitter, Vashawn Mitchell Facebook. Well, it's all Vashawn Mitchell, so go find me. There's only one name like it, so catch up with me.
Well, thank you so much, Vashawn, for calling
Thank
in
you.
and chopping it up with me. We go back a long time. I'm a forever supporter of you. Can't nobody say nothing bad about you. Not in my presence. I got you.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
You guys make sure you keep it right here to Worship 94.5.